The Las Vegas Raiders were really good on defense when head coach Antonio Pierce took over as the interim head coach the second half of the season. They had the number one scoring defense in the NFL in that time frame. Luckily for the Raiders, defensive coordinator Patrick Graham didn't end up getting a head coaching job during this hiring cycle, so their defensive staff will pretty much remain intact. The offensive staff needed to be and was blown up. The reconstruction of it started with the Raiders hiring offensive coordinator Luke Gety. There's been quite a bit of speculation on what type of coordinator he is, what coaching tree he's from, what kind of offense will he run when he's with the Raiders. Well, the hires he's made for his offensive staff have given us an idea of what kind of offense he plans to run. People came and saw me in the comment section because they didn't agree with my take on him being from the Shanahan coaching tree. He is that by way of Matt LaFleur, though. Some say he's a Mike McCarthy disciple, and others say he's from the Joe Moorhead tree. Moorhead is out because college coaching trees don't exist in the NFL. He has some influence, but Getsy is a West Coast offense guy. That's why Devontae Adams is so excited. He said he's looking forward to running the West Coast offense again. Getsy ran that with Aaron Rodgers in 2020 and 2021 as his quarterback coach and passing game coordinator under LaFleur. He was Adams' receiver coach when Adams broke out too. So it's West Coast offense, but it comes down to LaFleur or McCarthy. He spent one more year with McCarthy, but he worked more closely with LaFleur as the quarterback coach and passing game coordinator. He was just a receiver coach under McCarthy. What he did last year with the Chicago Bears was under the micromanagement of Matt Eberflus, but the new hires tell us what Getsy wants to do. Getsy's first hire was offensive line coach James Craig. Craig was Kyle Shanahan's assistant offensive line coach the last 2 years with the San Francisco 49ers. Shanahan's West Coast offense uses more power gap scheme in the running game than typical West Coast offenses. The 49ers led the NFL in power gap scheme runs in 2023. We'll see what that leads to for the Raiders. You obviously have to stick to what works for your team. That's probably what led to the Niners leading the league in power gap scheme runs. This is just me talking, but Craig will likely teach the power gap and zone blocking scheme like most NFL offensive line coaches, and each game will dictate what the Raiders run. Many of you believe Josh Jacobs is his own blocking running back, but that's not true. He's a great running back, period. Come on, he led the league in rushing in Carmen Bricio's predominantly power gap scheme in 2022. Just make a hole and he'll find it. We've seen Jacobs do well in the zone blocking scheme with Tom Cable too. Speaking of Cable, Craig was his assistant offensive line coach in 2007 and 2008. Hiring Rich Scangarello as the quarterback coach is another hint that Getsy is going with the Shanahan philosophy. Scangarello got his start in the NFL with the Oakland Raiders as an offensive quality control coach in 2009. He would then take a couple of jobs in college and resurfaced in 2015 with the Atlanta Falcons. He was an offensive quality control coach under offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan. Then after another year down in college, he went back to Shanahan, who had become the head coach of the 49ers as his quarterback coach in 2017 and 2018. Then after brief stints as an offensive coordinator of the Denver Broncos and an offensive assistant of the Philadelphia Eagles, he went back to Shanahan again with the 49ers in 2021. Then after spending the 2022 and 2023 seasons at Kentucky, he came back over the Raiders. All that tells us he spent most of his time in the NFL under Shanahan. It also tells us that he isn't much of a coordinator, but he's a great quarterback coach. That's good because teams won't be looking to hire him as an offensive coordinator anytime soon. It's going to be cool to see what Getsy does when he gets to run his offense under Pierce. What is that offense? Well, it looks like Getsy just gave us some clues with the hires he made. Craig just spent the last 2 seasons as an assistant offensive line coach under Shanahan. Scangarello has been Shanahan's offensive quality and control coach or quarterback coach for 4 out of his 6 years coaching in the NFL. He's hired fellow disciples of Shanahan, so that has to be what he's going back to. All the Raiders have to do now is go get that quarterback, and they should be ready to do something in 2024. Thank you for watching. See you next time.